Okay, I've been asked to make a video about how I sharpen my Opinel pen knives. I've just actually made the video, but it was 11 minutes, which is ridiculously long. So I'll just quickly go through this again. Here's a few Opinels, different ones that I use. They're a little bit scruffy. They're all in need of a thorough clean. This one, it's got a bit of crud stuck in the thumb bit there. But anyway, these are actually that's cheese. I used this to cut some cheese yesterday for lunch and out at the orchard. And I haven't cleaned it yet. Not to worry. This is a slimline one, good for filleting fish, and it's quite a handy sort of dinner knife. You know, to use as a knife, as in knife and fork. Here's two number 10s. This is an old one I've relegated to use in the shed for wood carving, and this is a number 10, a number 8 as well, which has got I bought in France, and it's got a little brand on it. You can see these are engraved, I think, probably with a hot stamp. There's a carp there, there's a pike, there's some perch. Nice little touch. Number 8 is generally a very helpful, useful pen knife. The number 10 is a bit bigger, a bit heavier, but it's a number 6 that I always use for grafting, and this one has an olive wood handle. I've got another one with traditional beech and another with walnut handle. You can pick this sort of thing up in France particularly. You don't get it so much here in the UK. Well, to come to the point, this is a water stone. It's a Japanese water stone. I think this is probably made in China, this one. I got it from Rutland, who do a very good online service. I bought lots of stuff from there. The most recent purchase was a workbench, a self-assembly workbench, which I'm very pleased with. I've got out at the shed now, and another suminagashi Japanese cook's knife, but that's a story for another day. And they do these water stones. Now you should soak these in water before using them, and they work much more effectively when you do that. I've actually just sharpened these knives. This is the rough side, and this is the smooth side. So when sharpening one, depending how blunt it is, one will begin with a number of strokes, and this should be soaked in water, a number of strokes on the rough side. You can feel that sounds rough, can't you? And you don't want to overdo it with this, because you'll end up filing away too much metal. Note carefully with the Opinel the way that the taper goes. It's a very long, thin taper. It isn't like the sort of Scandinavian type of taper. So I make that easier to see. Not really very easy to do that. Not like the Scandinavian, shedding on a heavier blade. It's not like the Scandinavian style of taper, where it's like a block which suddenly sharpens down. This tapers all the way down. So the knife will wear out with heavy use. I mean, it's so cheap you can afford to buy a new one if necessary. I've never had one out, but I have seen them worn out by others. Anyway, so if they get quite blunt, then a few strokes with the don't get the angle too sharp like that. It's got to be quite a gentle angle, like that, almost just a little bit of taper there. Once you've got the edge roughly sharp, then use the finer thing that's at 3000 grit, and this will take the rough bits off, smooth it out. So maybe 5 strokes one way, 5 strokes the other way, and then when you're happy with the result, just maybe maybe 2 light strokes in each direction, just to remove any adhering bits of metal, and then you've got really a very sharp knife. I don't think there is, or will be, I don't think there ever will be a better knife than this. It's like, you know, I'm into guitars a little bit, and if you're buying a guitar, say you're into Les Paul, so you get an Epiphone Chinese-made Les Paul, you can pay maybe £350 for it, and it really will be a rather good guitar. You know, if you spend a bit of money upgrading it, it'll be as good as, almost as good as American-made Les Paul that you might pay much more for. But if you pay maybe £1,000 for a Les Paul Studio, and I've got 2, I have to admit, then if you pay another £1,000 to get a proper real deal Les Paul, then you won't get a better sound really. And then if you pay £15,000 for one of these limited special, you know, Billy Gibbons, stroke Eric Clapton, stroke Joe Bonamassa, Les Paul, so maybe £15,000, and you really won't notice a difference. And you know, a crude chap like myself playing, you know, for goodness sake, if I could get my hands on the, you know, the Peter Green, Gary Moore 1959 Les Paul, which is priceless, but would certainly cost £1 million if you could buy it. Then me playing that would not sound as good as a real guitarist playing a Chinese imitation. So, you know, there was a huge. What I'm saying is, you can buy one of these using a guitar analogy. What I'm saying is, you could buy this knife as a grafting knife for about £5 or £6. But then if you could buy for £200, and I have seen a knife. I was tempted to buy a knife this sort of size, Suminagashi hand-beaten Japanese knife for £140, as opposed to the £5 I paid for this. And do you know what? I didn't buy it in the end. I just do not think it would be any better. It just looked better, but it wouldn't do a better job. It might not even do as good a job. What I like about this is the extreme thinness of the blade and the nice smooth taper of the blade, which you can feel better than see on this video. So that's how I sharpen. To keep it sharp in the field, we can use stuff like this, little pocket hook sharpening thingy. I use when I go fishing, but I don't think it's that good. You can use something like this, little stone, but again, this is rather crude. If you look at that, it's rather rough. What I use is one of these little diamond hones. You can buy these in packs of 3 from Axminster Tools, basically diamond hone. They come in 3 different, you know, it's a yellow, blue and a red one, which is, there's not that much difference between them. And this goes in your pocket. You can tie it to a lanyard if you like. And this is, if you're doing a lot of work in the field, you can take this with you. I also like to take, when doing a lot of grafting, I also like to take a little plastic bottle with some methylated spirits in it, a rag attached to the cap of the bottle with a string. Just a little square of from handkerchief or something, or an old pair of old vest or something, and just clean the thing every now and then. Alright then, well that's longer than I meant to do. So I think keeping these Opinel knives sharp is not really a very difficult job, you know. And if you, I will give you this tip: if you invest in one of these sort of Japanese stroke Chinese water stones, and then you'll be grateful, and your tools will be sharper than they have previously been. I guarantee you that. Okay, that's all I've got to say.